Hey, so I know I said filming Friday would be for like more substantial videos, but I'm so tired. It's like 10 past 9 p.m. And like, I was going to do a review of the book that I finished reading, and I don't have the energy or concentration span. But it's still filming Friday, so I am filming something. And yeah, this is kind of just a token video. I mean, also today was really busy. This whole week, I probably got the most done Monday, Tuesday, like I did do music and art. Um, but like even then, it's only in the afternoons that like things finally settle down or I was able to get my head together or whatever. And then since then, just a lot of exhaustion. I mean, the whole week I've struggled to get to bed at a reasonable time. I do have these mouth ulcers still. Last night though, I was up until like 1. I blame Google's AI for that because I I was trying to Google so Tuesday I went to the physio and poked around and you know loosening me up so I don't get migraines because that seems to be the most effective thing for me. Um and every time I go, he comments on how tight my muscles are and then loosens them up for me. I'm always a little bit sore anyway afterwards, which I guess is just the body sort of adjusting. But then, 2 days after that, which was yesterday, I had my first facial of the year because this year has just been nuts with the migraines and back pain and then more migraines and just exhaustion in general. And with the whole facial thing, like, yeah, they do all the face stuff, but then while they're waiting for things to happen, they also do like a massage component. I don't know if that happens every time, but like she did it. She did good by me. And yeah, 2 days after the physio's already loosened me up, she's like, oh, so the muscle's so tight. And it's just like, that made me think. And I'm like, what if this is a symptom? Because like, should I really be that tight that she sounds surprised? Because also the physio always sounds like a little bit surprised. And then tries to like, be like, oh, people, it just happens. But I'm already tight 2 days later and yeah, just the surprise every time I have a massage. Like the guy that did he helped there was a guy who helped me with my back pain and he was really good for that, but then I went back and tried to have a more relaxed massage. But it seems like this guy only knows how to look for knots and he doesn't know how to do a relaxing massage. And also the day after, I had a migraine, so I think it was just not the right sort of massage for me at the time. But like, one of the things he did after, finding all the knots in my back and deciding that's all he could figure out, then he did my arms and was just like shocked as well. Like bad enough my back, because, neck, shoulders, okay, that's fairly normal for people to get tension there. But then he's doing my arms and like, look how I'm so tiny and he's like an ex-army dude, too chatty. That's how I know this because he was too chatty. But, yeah, and then, doing all this stuff to like loosen up my arms and he was shocked. And he's a guy like, these are people who massage people and release tension for a living. And then little me comes along and it's just like, what is this? Why are you this tense? And, I haven't thought much of it before because like, I don't know, what if it's stress? What if it's something I've been doing? But 2 days after physio, I'm already so tense that this lady is surprised. So, that was yesterday. And then I got home and I'm like, just, putting into Google, I think muscle tightness or muscle tension. I can't remember which one I wrote. And then put in, what other symptoms? I think mouth ulcers or something. And maybe a few other, I don't know exactly what I wrote, but, Google, I forgot to put in -AI. If you don't want AI results on Google, at the end of your query, you put -AI. I forgot, like, it's such an inconvenient thing. I would just like a switch. But anyway, Google's AI comes up with a summary, and sometimes I'm just, like, too tired to use my own brain, and that's the point. They don't want us using our brains, do they? And then at the bottom of it, there's a thing like, oh, if you tell me a few more things, I can help you. And I didn't realize, but it turns out that's AI mode. So then instead of just summarizing search results, the AI is like doing the AI thing. I'm like, okay, fine, fuck. I've stumbled into it. We might as well see where this goes. And like, so, you know, periodically through the day, I'm like, okay, what if I type in this extra symptom or whatever? And then it starts asking me blood test results and all this kind of shit. So I went down that whole rabbit hole, and I mean, one of the things that bothered me is that every time I put in a new symptom, it's like, this changes everything, and I'm like, calm down. Oh my god. I mean, at least it didn't do that thing that a lot of AIs do where it's like, you're so right. I didn't really come up with much myself. I was just I was trying not to lead it on, you know, because if I give it a suggestion, my concern is that, you know, AI is being known for obsequiousness. Wow, why am I getting hot all of a sudden? Being known for obsequiousness, you know, if I suggest something, it might just try and fit ideas to make me happy and make me feel right. So I tried not to lead it on. And so I drip fed it symptoms just to see what would happen. But also some of the things I put in are kind of minor. And even when I put in minor things, it's like, this changes everything. Calm down, Google AI. Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, so I went down that rabbit hole, and then like I'm getting, you know, finally got the floof to bed, I'm doing, you know, brushing my teeth, and I'm like, oh, I wonder, like, what if I put in my mental illnesses as well as the physical symptoms? And then Google's like, this is such a crucial thing again. But like occasionally it made good points, like, if I'm experiencing dissociation, maybe I'm experiencing less pain, and that's why I haven't noticed certain things or haven't advocated for myself, blah, blah, blah. As for its conclusion, nothing new. It kind of just keeps coming back to the thing that I already thought, and I didn't even tell it what my theory was. So maybe I'm right. Maybe it can mind read based on my past searches, and maybe that's, I don't know. And then, like, when it comes to the main drug that they wanted to try me on, should my blood test and poop test results come back clean, you know, they're like, oh, might as well try some colchicine, because that hopefully break up the mouth ulcers, because the mouth ulcers are just fucking constant. If I can get 1 or 2 days without them, great, but that's it, and then they're back. And there's multiple ones, and sometimes, like, they're in such awkward spots that I couldn't possibly have bitten myself, couldn't have gotten foods, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So there's something going on with my body. It did reassure me about the colchicine thing, but I'm still like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And yeah, so big rabbit hole. And it's like, oh, do you want me to write a thing that you can take to your appointment to help advocate? Because, you know, the rheumatologist didn't think my theory fit. I mean, I didn't push it that much. And then there's also some things that, like, I didn't think I experienced, and then now I'm like, wait a minute, here's a few more things that have happened, and what if that's... Anyway, I'm rambling. Point being, I was up until 1 a.m. Although, like, yesterday was weird because I was so exhausted and just sort of, like, at some point had to nap after, like, not focusing the whole day. I should have napped earlier, but I just thought I'm going to keep going because if I nap, then maybe I won't sleep well. So I had an afternoon nap, so that made it harder to get to bed. And then I didn't sleep well at all last night. Although I feel like I didn't sleep, but then things have happened today where I'm, like, having these sort of memory and deja vu moments, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that must have been a dream. So, for example, like, the knife section of the cutlery being almost empty and there being, like, one knife left, and me being like, oh shit, that's gonna be inconvenient because then the next time we need a knife, I'm gonna have to clean one. Because the dishwasher hasn't been run. But then this morning, when I was grabbing the knife to butter something, it was half full. So, it's not that someone ran the dishwasher and then, like, everything's refilled, because only half of them were there. So, it's like, in the middle of a cycle. It's not at the end of a cycle. It's not at the start of a cycle. It's in the middle. So that must have been a dream about fucking kitchen knives. Butter knives. Not the pointy ones. I know what some of you are thinking. I'm not talking about pointy, stabby knives. I'm not that... I am that crazy, but not in that way most of the time. Yeah, I know you're only watching this to see what chaos comes next. What was I talking about? I got distracted by the pointies. I've been watching too many Buffy Angel compilations as well. That's distracting. I think I got that from, like, the Doctor Who thing. Probably because, like, you know, those commentators who are gloating over the fact that Doctor Who seems to have been cancelled, or... the show sounds broken. I stopped watching a while ago. The Timeless Children is when I stopped watching, because, like, what the fuck are they on? Like, it's bad enough that he got a gazillion regenerations, in a sort of, like, unsatisfying way. But then... now there's, like, it goes back even further, and it just, it's kind of like the Time Lords of the Time Lords, and it's like, but, no, there has to be a cutoff somewhere, because then if you explain that, then the Time Lords of the Time Lords of the Time Lords will be the next. It's just like, you know, the sort of creep of mystery races or whatever with higher and higher powers, like... fuck off. And also, like, what happened to the looms? I know that was a thing, like a cancelled storyline in the 70s or whatever. But I feel like that lore was better than fucking Timeless Children. And they just, like, destroyed so much because it doesn't make sense. Anyway, where was I going? Yeah, no, those guys gloating over the presumed cancellation, or, you know, Russell rage quitting, or whatever happened. I don't know. How did he get so bad? He revived the series and then he, like, utterly destroyed it. It was already struggling by then anyway. Whatever. So then I start seeing Doctor Who compilations again, which I've watched before, where it's like, you know, all Doctor Who and his companions sharing one brain cell. Because there were some funny things like that. Really, the modern Doctor Who, the only one that I really got into was the very first one with the Ninth Doctor. And then after that, like, David Tennant era, it was okay, but I started getting my iPod out and playing, like, match games, and then sort of, like, half paying attention, because otherwise I couldn't stay awake. So there you have it. I enjoyed old school Doctor Who when they played it on the ABC, like reruns, except they never played the Dalek episodes, which was annoying. But that stuff was fun, and like the 4-episode story things, because they were half-hour episodes, I liked them. And then the Ninth Doctor, because he hated people, he hated humans, whereas then David Tennant comes along and he loves people too much, and I'm like, nah, fuck off with that shit. And then Matt Smith, chaotic, and like he's okay, but Moffat is a terrible writer. Moffat, like, he comes up with some cool ideas sometimes, but he should never be in charge of anything. Like the shit he did with Jekyll. The start of Jekyll was good, and then it turns into this Doctor Who bullshit by the end, and then he tries to bring in some cutesy like message or whatever, and it's like, fuck off, mate. So yeah, Matt Smith had to deal with that, and then Capaldi had to deal with those horrible speeches, but at least he was grumpy. Who's this? She's my carer. She cares, so I don't have to. Yes, finally. I think I got a little bit more into that, except for Moffat's fucking writing. And then the girl, they did, I think, the gender switch well initially, but then the stories are just like, how much sitting around talking can you people do? Get back to the action. What was I talking about? Doctor Who. And the sharing one brain cell. And then all of a sudden the Buffy ones come up and the Angel ones come up. And I haven't even watched all of Buffy. But I feel like now I have because of how many have come up, and I've probably seen the best bits anyway. Yeah, and so I've been wasting time doing that and not getting anything done, and I don't remember why I was rambling all this stuff, but I guess that adds to me staying up too late. That and last night stuffing around with Google's AI, and it keeps at one point it's like, oh, do you want me to write a summary? And I'm like, oh, do you want me to write a letter? I'm like, no, just do a summary. And it was an okay summary. But then I put in some more symptoms and it's like, do you want me to update the summary? And then I put in some other stuff and then it like did this whole thing and then gave me a summary without me asking. And it sort of felt like passive aggressive, like it wanted me to shut the fuck up. And here, just take this summary and stop asking more and more stuff. Did I make Google's AI snap? I'm just like, I know there are some people who try and break AI like that. And like, we shouldn't even be calling it AI because it doesn't actually think, it's just a pattern machine. But it's kind of funny today. So like today was really busy. My brain wants to like take you through the rest of my week and why things were busy, but I need to try and focus on today and why filming Friday is this chaos instead of anything meaningful. But I did make other videos through the week, so you've already gotten fucking videos, and tomorrow we will attempt to live stream if I have the energy. 8 p.m. Saturday, I will try to make it on time, but and it's probably gonna have to be on the fucking phone again. I'm not going to schedule it though, so you'll just have to turn up. This is Sydney time. We're no longer in daylight saving. Google it. But that's when I'm planning to be on, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. I cannot click. Did you know that? I cannot. It fucking hurts my fingies. My fingies are too delicate. Yeah. Author Thursday didn't go well yesterday. I did read a bit, just not very much. And yeah. Brain not working well. No, the Google AI thing is funny because of things that happened today as well. So, I met Mum for lunch. Japanese place that we've been to in the past, used to be really good, has kind of, like, I'm not super picky about these things, but even I noticed that it just wasn't quite as good as it used to be, so if I'm noticing it, it must really have gone downhill. But then we had cheesecakes. There's a cheesecake place and it's like easy to eat, even though we ate so much already. It was really easy to eat this cheesecake and have hot chocolate, and I think I posted an Instagram story, if you give a shit. Follow me on Instagram if you want more up-to-date stuff instead of having to wait for videos, except there's not really much detail. It's just, yeah, I don't know, content. Just to prove I'm alive or some shit. And then, we also like looked at a few different things, but where the point of the thing was to go to the mattress shop, and I already got my pillow, which no one asked me to talk about my pillow, so I won't. But yeah, we went back to buy the mattress. And the funny part is, like, I just wanted to try a couple other mattresses that I didn't try before. And I'm like, no, I think the one that I picked last time, I spent like the whole fucking day in the shop, it is the right one for me. I like it. It's the right amount of squishy, and it has like support in the right places, because they have like different zones of squishiness. And I think because I'm short, the 5-zone one works better for me than the 7-zone one, where like the squishiness occurs in different spots, and it's like, yeah, all right. Where am I going with this? Yeah, no, so ran around, tried a few things, and while we're running around, the sales lady, like, found us, and, she's hoping we're gonna buy something, and I'm still running around showing Mum stuff, and, I think Mum's a bit bewildered because I was just like, this, and and then these mattresses, and by then, I am sugared up on cheesecake, and, like, dark chocolate, we didn't have dark chocolate, but dark chocolate is one of those things that gets to my head, makes me spacey, and I'm like, and so I imagine cheesecake and just standard hot chocolate. Oh, I did have some dark chocolate though, because I tried to go to Kmart to buy a new thing to this video. In my car, I have like one of those things that keep the sun out off your windshield, but it has like artwork on the front, and it's like it's half a decade old, and the sun has caused it to start peeling. So my car is full of flakes of like plastic bits that I'm gonna have to vacuum out. So I'm like, I gotta throw that one out and just get a plain silver one. And I tried to go to Kmart and had one for $4.50. It shows in stock on the shop. It says you can click and collect, which I should have done last night if I knew it was going to be this difficult. I didn't. I rocked up. I tried to find it, couldn't find it. They had a Hello Kitty one. They had a Stitch one. Mum loves Stitch, but I don't, and I also don't want a printed one that's just going to flake again in another 5 years, and then I have to vacuum the car again in another 5 years, assuming it survives that long because it's already more than 15 years old. Old cars are great though. You can leave them on the street for months and they will still start up. Whereas modern cars, with all their fancy gadgets, the batteries are like constantly draining, and if my parents go on holiday, someone has to get in the car, turn on the engine, sit around for a bit, and you've seen me do that a few times. Because, you know, I'm like, what am I gonna do? I might as well vlog while I'm in here. Yeah. So I like my car because I never go anywhere, so I can just leave it out there for months, and then when I finally decide to actually go drive, it'll still work. Why am I talking about that? I don't remember. Something about the windshield. Okay, I don't want the fucking thing to flake. Because before I know it, and like, I don't want the car to be more effort than it's worth, and I want it, hopefully it survives another 5 years, because I don't want to have a newfangled car. I want an old-fangled car, but not too old, acceptably old. Someone subscribed to me called Iced Tea with Sugar. Hello! If you are watching, welcome to the Nut House. Nut House. I don't know if there's a song that goes with that. And then the only one that was pure, like, you know, just the silver one was one of those pop-out ones. And you've seen the video of me getting attacked by my green screen, which pops out in the same thing, and then you got to try and fold it into a circle. I'm like, when I'm in my car, I don't want to be pulling that out, having it pop in my face while I'm trying to... No, I want a folding one, not a pop-out one. And I asked the staff, like, you know, it took a while to find... First of all, I had to, like, work up my social, like, talking to peopleness. Because, yeah, I don't think I had really talked to anyone except the floof's friends. You know, he likes to go to shops and ask for treats. That's the only people I talk to. And then, you know, so going to Kmart, it's the first time I was, like, talking to people since, like, that's out of routine talking. Routine talking to people? Easy enough, because it's just, I just go on the autopilot. Yes, he's a Finnish Lapphund. He's 2 years old. His name is, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to upset him. Do you want to give him a TREAT? And he goes, woof. And then, yeah, and he does his, you know, chore-day. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Like, it's the same script all the time. It's pretty easy. But, yeah... Kmart, and not only do I have to talk to people off script for the first time of the day, I also have to bug them about something I'm not happy about, because where is this product? So it took me a while, like, you know, I did see staff, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm gonna have to go and talk to them, and then I missed my chance. And then I finally tracked some down, I was like, hey! You could tell they didn't want to talk. Kmart, you know, minimum wage, they probably, and they just want to get on with it, and like, I'm looking for this product. I'm like, oh, you know, if we have any left, it'll be, and I'm like, yeah, but it says it's in stock. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't trust that. And it's like, really? Really? You wouldn't trust that? So what, if I click and collected it, and then rocked up, would I get it? Anyway, so they were no help, didn't even try to help me find it. And so I went to the lady at the front who checks, you know, scans everyone's barcodes as they go out, which is like kind of a weird way to stop people from stealing, because you're not really checking much, you're just scanning a docket. But they have the fucking checkout in the middle of the shop. Put it at the exit like a normal shop, you fucking... Am I still talking? I don't even know what point I'm getting to. Anyway, I asked the lady who was scanning the dockets, and she's like, oh, I don't know. If they said that, then it's not there. I'm just like, fucking useless. So, yeah. Pointless. Yeah. I was a bit hangry after that. So when I was walking back to, we're back on topic, walking back to meet Mum, and went past the Hague's chocolate place, and she really likes the sugar-coated almond things, and it's hard to find, like in the city, they're constantly out of stock. So I saw them and I'm like, you know, I text her that I'm on her way. She says, oh, I'm already here. And I'm like, Mum, do you want these? So I bought them for her because I was hangry and I wanted a successful purchase. I wanted the hunt to like actually, so I bought, and then because it's Hague's, they always give you sample chocolate. So I asked for dark chocolate. So I did have dark chocolate. And then we had Japanese, and then we had cheesecake and hot chocolate. And so probably, in hindsight, I probably was sugared up. So by the time we get to the mattress place, and I'm running around going, Mum, look at this place. It's fucking huge. There's a whole downstairs. And look, there's a secret room. And the lady was like, I'll leave you guys to it and come up when you're ready to. Because I mentioned, like, you know, I'd had a quote. And in the meantime, it turns out she was trying to figure out what the quote was, who I was, or kind of thing. Anyway, we get up and I'm, you know, jump on a few more things, confirm which bed I want. And so then we go and talk to the lady at the desk. And I mean, Mum is also not particularly social, but she's not schizoid. She's just her own, I don't know. And it's funny, like, you know, afterwards, she's like, how do you talk so much? Like, wasn't expecting, because she's used to me being quiet. But yeah, no, while we were there, I was just like, the guy who served me last week, he was really friendly, and so, like, it was easy to crack jokes, and I think because I was in that same setting, the version of me that cracks a lot of jokes was like, you know, just present in the shop, and the lady was, like, not as fun as the guy. And also, because he quoted it, I imagine he might get, like, the points for it instead of her. I don't know. Yeah, and I was just like, you know, Mum and I joking about things, and, well, mostly me joking. I think Mum was just, like, letting me run the thing at that point. And, I don't know, like, you know, the fact that Mum is now a member of 2 gyms. I don't even remember what happened. I just know that I wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I could tell the point where the lady was like, oh my God, trying to be polite, but also hoping the conversation would fucking end already. So I toned it down a little bit, but not too much, because it's kind of fun to see how far you can push it. And then, yeah, I think she was very relieved to see the end of us. Like, the whole credit card machine did something weird, so then we had to run it through again, and yeah, Mum's app is kind of confusing. I don't use apps for my cards, so I don't know how it works, and so when she's like, how do you do this? I'm like, I don't know. My parents use more tech than me. Like, I'm kind of old-fashioned. I think that's probably one of the things that I said. And then, yeah, when we left the store, and, like, you know, I mentioned, yeah, I to Mum, like, you know, that lady's tired of me, and I don't even remember why I was bringing up that story, but I probably used up all my energy then, and but I also mentioned to Mum, like, probably the fact that I'm on YouTube, that's probably where a lot of my practices happened in terms of talking, and then also, like, you know, going and seeing the floof's friends, like, YouTube is good for learning to talk in my room to an inanimate object, but the floof has forced me to talk to real people in real life, and then I've also gone to art events, and you know, so I've had a lot more practice talking to real people about all kinds of shit. And then because I've done YouTube for so long, one of the things I explained to Mum is, like, you don't really want silence in a YouTube video, and a lot of creators will cut out the silences, so then the videos are like dun 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 dun. I am too lazy for that. It's too time consuming, and also I'm not making content that goes anywhere in particular, so why should I edit it? It's chaos anyway. But yeah, like, so the practice of, especially, like, also live streaming, you know, trying to fill the space when no one is in the chat, and you're trying, okay, like, what am I gonna say in those awkward silences? I could just sit there, and sometimes I do, but there's kind of this weird pressure to keep talking. And so I've gotten good at filling that space. And so, and there's also, like, it's also funny to think about school, because in school, pretty much every one of my school reports was like, she should speak up more. The class could benefit from her insights or some shit. And it's like, you want me to speak up more? Well, guess what? Now you can't shut me the fuck up. So that's kind of fun. And, I know I'm playing with my hair. I don't know why. Have I had too much sugar? I think I'm really tired. I can't believe this video is half an hour long. I haven't even written my psychology diary. I'm getting hot again. That's weird. It's like I woke up all of a sudden. Or maybe just like the YouTube version of me took over. Holy shit. That's weird to think about, because I was very tired like half an hour ago, being like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to make some kind of video. It's filming Friday. I just farted. What are we talking about? Yeah, no, practice on YouTube. And then also, in terms of socializing, like, what's interesting is even though I'm able to talk and able to interact with people, I still don't give a shit. And it's actually more fun to just see, like, what reactions, I can get from people. Because, like, what's the alternative? We go to the mattress shop, we're like, yeah, I want to buy that one, and then just go through the motions of like, yeah, here's my address, here's the car, here's the payment, thank you, goodbye. Boring. I might as well, it's this one. This one is like, I'll just get rid of that and just stick to the content. Yeah, no, boring. If I'm gonna have to interact with people, I might as well get up to some mischief and have a bit of fun, right? And, you know, if I make a fool of myself or act cringe, you've already seen my, like, fucking potato video. I don't give a shit how people think of me. So, yeah, I can just go and, like, do some shit, talk some crap, and then move on with my life. It's not something I'm gonna worry about. At least in most situations, I have no attachment to it, so I might as well just have a bit of fun. And then it's funny to think about, because like the other one I was telling Mum about, because she was actually genuinely impressed with how easily I talk, because she doesn't really want to talk to people. I think in her case there is a bit of a language barrier, like it's easier for her to talk in Japanese. And then, you know, she's always been a bit of a rebel as well, and she's funny. She complains about people liking her, but then she'll still go to lunch with them. I know that some of the appeal is the food, but in some cases, the person she's going to lunch with will choose food that she doesn't like, and she goes anyway. Whereas I'm like, I'm not just gonna go to lunch with randoms. That's no, there needs to be some point to it. We need to be doing something a bit. I can't just go to lunch with people and what do we just chat? We can chat online. We don't need to meet in person for that. What a lot of effort just to chat with someone. Anyway, like even today, going out with Mum, we're using the mattress purchase as an excuse to have lunch. I think in the past sometimes we've just had lunch, but I always found them a bit like I need some kind of goal. It makes it a little bit more interesting for me, besides just food, because I get food at home. It might not be the same food. There's no cheesecake at home, but I don't know. I need more than that to really make it feel worthwhile. Otherwise, why wouldn't I just stay home? Yeah, no. So Mum was impressed with me being able to talk like that, and I can't remember where I was going because I keep going up too many tangents. This video is so much longer than it's supposed to be. I don't know if I'm even going to get this up tonight because I really need to get to bed and like actually sleep, which I've been doing such a shit job of, and I'm making it worse the more that I speak. Anyway, no. Okay, so like Mum was impressed, and one of the things I was telling her, apart from like practicing on YouTube and with the floof, is like with the art events. You know, when I go to the art events, that's when I do all the like more goth, over the top outfits. Because it's an art event. Let's be performance art, especially in this conservative suburb where they think they've got progressive artists, but then no one will stand next to me in the hall during the speeches. It's fucking so funny to me. But yeah, when talking to people, because people always want to know my story because I look different, clearly. I must be some kind of creative. And then they ask me, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't work. I'm too mentally ill to work. And they're like, oh, you seem fine. And I'm like, no, I'm actually not. And, you know, sometimes I will talk about the schizoid personality disorder and I will tell them up front, yeah, like, you know, I don't really connect with people and like this is just conversation and once it finishes, I won't really think of you again. Sometimes I'll say that and they're like, oh, okay. They don't know how to react. I find that amusing because I'm not following the normal social script. Like I'm kind of following the social protocol, but in terms of the things I'm saying, it's not what they were expecting. And a lot of them, like, they take it well, at least to my face, but I know that, like, this lady at the mattress shop, I know that, you know, some of these people, they're gonna go home and be like, I met the craziest chick today. And I just think that's funny. Because the world is either boring or it's tragic. You know, like fucking earthquakes in Venezuela. Or else it's just like more taxes, accounting. Fuck. So, you know, if the world is so boring, why shouldn't I be the thing that's a little bit interesting sometimes? Oh, wow. The sugar shouldn't be affecting me right now. I didn't lie down after it. I did feel like I ate too much. I think there must be like, maybe it's just like my YouTube brain kicks in. It's like, cameras on! Time to perform. It's very strange because I was very quiet before this, and I know none of you believe me that I'm usually very quiet because of how I appear on camera. I don't know if this is a dissociation thing where camera goes on and now we're in, like, filming mode. That's I think it's interesting. And also, like, even the fact that I want to mess with people, I don't know where that comes from. And, like, most of the time I'm not thinking about shit posting. Or shit existing or whatever. Most of the time I'm just sort of like, shit, I'm so tired. And here's my list of things to do, and like, how am I going to convince myself to do them? That's what most of my existence is. It's just like, how am I going to manage to do the next thing that I do? But then I will start a task, and sometimes things like this happen where now it's 36 minutes and I still haven't shut the fuck up. Anyway, so that's why there wasn't a proper video, or, you know, like, I was going to do the book review, and I also considered doing the Dexter review, and then but I was too tired, and now I'm like, but you seem so awake now, why didn't you just do the book review? And it's like, because that would use my brain, whereas just talking about today and going on random tangents, like, yeah, it uses my brain, but we know it's gonna be chaotic, so it doesn't matter if I say a bunch of random shit. Maybe that's what the logic is. I don't even know, really, why I do some of the things that I do. That's probably part of the problem. That's probably why I can't really exist in the real world. Because my brain is just... I don't know. Excuse me while I have, like, an existential moment, and it's probably a good point to turn the fucking camera off and write this psych diary, and then I'm probably not going to get to bed before midnight again. I'm probably going to be up past midnight again, and it's just like this constant cycle of barely keeping afloat. But I'm trying to keep this whole, you know, daily things and filming Friday. I'm trying to do it. It's just I don't have any energy, and like, you know, that's how I ended up on the Google AI, basically, is I'm just like, how am I existing? I have goals and I can't get things done because a lot of the time I'm spending most of the day just struggling to stay awake and sometimes failing, sometimes having to lie down. And like, when you have to lie down, that takes up a lot of time. And it's really frustrating because if I want to get on with life, how am I supposed to do that without energy? So that's where I'm like, okay, what if the muscle tension is a symptom? And, you know, muscle tension, fatigue, mouth ulcers, occasional funny, like I had this, which side is it? I'm just thinking in the mirror. I got this random rash here and I had to put Dermade on it, and I'm just like, what did I put in that part of my body that I didn't put anywhere else that this would go off? I don't know, like, what if that's a symptom? I'm so tired of trying to track symptoms as well. Like, I stopped doing the diary because no one wants to look at it. So what's the fucking point? It just takes up more of my time. The psych diary takes up enough of my time. But yeah, no, it's just like, and then the other thing is, if I do have some kind of autoimmune condition, or Google's other one was like some digestive small intestine thing, which might, if it's higher up enough, then maybe it wouldn't show up in the poop test. So either autoimmune or gastrointestinal, but it leaned more to autoimmune as I added more symptoms in. If that's the case, it makes me wonder, because in the past we were able to blame my depression for a lot of my lack of energy, but I am not currently in a depressive episode. Like, yes, I have major depressive disorder, but I'm not currently in an episode, if that makes sense. I get recurring depression, but I'm in a good, stable period for now, and hopefully I can make it stretch out. So we can't really blame the depression right now for my lack of energy. I have goals, finally. I have things I want to do and just no energy to do them. And it makes me wonder, like, how far back does this go? And how long have we been blaming depression for what could actually be a physical issue? And that bothers me a bit because, depression, mental illness, it's such an easy scapegoat when it could turn out to be some very tricky, physical issue. And maybe this drug that they want to try me on, maybe that will fix it. And it's like, what if I took this earlier instead of the antidepressants that fucked me up more? What if I took this earlier? And like, I don't know how much to trust the Google AI, but I added in migraines at one point, and it's like, oh yeah, if you have inflammation, it could be causing this protective thing that, goes to the neck, and then the neck is what causes the migraines, and also the trigeminal nerve could be, like, that obviously does stuff with the migraines. I didn't tell it about my jaw being kind of crunchy sometimes, but it's like, like the trigeminal nerve could do mouth ulcers, and I don't know how that is supposed to work, if it's even true, but it's trying to link like all this stuff. And I mean, the doctors have said, yeah, probably everything's linked, but it tried to lay out how this works, and it's like, yeah, the migraines could be connected to all that through this inflammation pathway, and then trying to explain why physio worked, but why it's only treating like the physical consequences of the inflammation and not the original inflammation or original autoimmune thing. But yeah, no, it just makes me wonder, like, how much of what's wrong with me might actually be physical instead of mental, like I've thought. Like, I've gone through so much of my life thinking it's in my head, even though I understand that depression does have physical impacts on you. What if there's actually a larger component that's in my body? And being female makes autoimmune more likely, and I suspect I probably have endometriosis because I'm on the contraceptive pill back to back, so I don't have periods. I haven't for quite some time because it just got too much. Even as a breakthrough bleed, I'm just like, I cannot. It started, like, the pain was coming back, and I think it's probably a bad sign. I probably should have been investigated a long time ago, but when I asked a GP, my longer term GP, about it, she said, oh no, if you're on the pill back to back, that's effectively treated. Google claims it might not be because, it stops you bleeding, but it might not be stopping the inflammation related to endometriosis. And, that could be related to autoimmune. And females seem to be able to tolerate pain more, which makes sense because, you have to go through childbirth. And then that kind of explains why man flu is a thing. Like, females apparently don't get as sick as often as males. And when males get the flu or man flu, like, they turn into these big babies. I've seen it with my ex. He was a big baby when he got sick. Whereas women, because they have to do caring roles, they kind of just push through a lot. And so the pain threshold must be higher in women. And then autoimmune, the immune, women's bodies have to deal with a foreign body because it's a baby. A baby is like a foreign body. And so, and then having to push through the caring things, and you get exposed to a lot of viruses, so you need a stronger immune system. But the downside of a stronger immune system in the female is the higher risk of autoimmune conditions. I'm just like, how much of this? Because I had such painful periods when I was younger, when I actually had natural periods, and just tried to tough it out because that's what people tell you to do. Now they're starting to realize, actually, maybe we shouldn't be making women do this. But I never got investigated properly. And it's like, what if it goes all the way back? Because, like, all the way in high school, I was having severe periods. And I mean, like, there's that old video of me about, you know, the period pain, how much I was suffering. And what if this all goes back that far? And it's not just been like, yes, I do have the trauma, I do have the schizoid, I do have the depression, but what if on top of all that, a physical illness that means I have no energy? So if you have no energy, how are you supposed to fight back against the mental illness and people giving you all these like bright and happy things? And it's like, yeah, but I have no energy to exercise. I have been exercising more. I've been eating my veggies. I have not done so well with sleep, but I've been doing like, I have improved my physical things. And I'm still having this intense fatigue and cannot function. So yeah, this turned into a 45-minute rant. I should shut up, but it just makes me like, you know, and that's how this video happened, because I've had no energy this afternoon, got home, had tea, and have kind of just lost myself in the YouTube, you know, watching crap about Buffy and then the occasional other video. That's all I've had energy for, and then it's like, oh shit, I better try and film a video at the last minute. I'm not gonna get this posted tonight. So then how am I going to tell you the stream? If the stream has already happened by the time I get this video up, oh well, I will try and stream again next Saturday because I am doing streaming Saturday. So that's fine. That's fine. That's problem solved. Just like, you know, most Saturdays I will try it unless there's a gig on and I actually have the energy to go, which good luck if this is a real physical issue. You know, like anytime I go out, it's such an ordeal, especially now, and I'm not on antidepressants to like give me that hyperactive whatever to help me through it. And then also if whatever physical illness I might have is getting worse with age, potentially, because I didn't used to get mouth ulcers this relentlessly, and now the Kenalog is not working as well. It used to clear up the mouth ulcers in like 1 or 2 days, and I've still got some that I've been treating for more than 3 or 4 days now. They are in some spots that are a bit harder to treat, but then I just, like, what if this is getting worse? I've got to wait until August until I see the rheumatologist, but I should really try to be more forceful. At least it's not at 10 in the morning or... No, what time was it? It was some stupid hour of morning, the first appointment. The next one will be at 11, so at least my brain will actually be awake. Neurology, rheumatology. Shit, yeah, that was at 10, and that would have been a rush. At least 11 is a bit more doable. Yeah, I don't know, I'm just like, how far back does this go, and how much has it exacerbated my mental illness if I'm also dealing with physical shit? I think Hope had anxiety in part because of his hernia that, you know, was supposedly treated but clearly caused him pain, and I had to get it fixed at some point. And then, you know, he didn't get that pain anymore, but he already had the anxiety from it exacerbating that. And what if my depression has been exacerbated by potential physical issues that have taken away all my energy? And if you have no energy, like, it's so much easier to be depressed because you can't do anything and you can't follow any of the advice to exercise more. So you get stuck. And then people try and guilt you like you haven't done enough. Fuck off. Fuck off. I walk more. I'm eating better. I eat veggies every fucking morning. And I'm even socializing more, which is supposed to help people. It's only sleep that I'm struggling with. So, okay, I'm gonna stop, because the sleep is the issue that I really need to focus on, and I just got a little bit carried away again. We went from hyperactive to, like, kind of serious, and now we're hyperactive again, and I'm gonna go. Bye. Wait, do we want Fleef? No! I need to write my psych diary, so we won't do Fleef now. Bye!